So I'm about to embark on this retouch. This is not my picture, this is by my colleague Urs Recker, and I said I'd give it a retouch for him. So I'm going to duplicate the layer just to keep an original background layer to refer to. I'm going to add a blank layer above that for my healing, and that'll allow me just to commence all my basic cleanup and healing. So if you're not familiar with using the healing brush and the basic Photoshop tools, then please refer to our Photoshop for Photographers course on my website, which gives you a complete overview of Photoshop. So this is going to take a little bit of time just doing some of this healing, so we'll probably speed up elements of this tutorial. So I'm going to merge the healing layer down now because I've completed the healing that I need to do for the time being. And that's all that we've done so far. It's difficult to see. I'll just zoom in a little bit and you can see some of the healing work that's taken place so far. So just bringing up a curves adjustment just to look at color adjustment here, because I just want to just put a global color adjustment on this picture first of all, and just tweak the reds a little bit here. It's a little bit too rich on the reds. Now looking at this picture, I can immediately see the sort of areas that I want to be doing my burning and dodging. And I'm seeing that the hand area and running down the wrist is too bright relative to the face. I want to make sure that the attention is drawn to the face. There's a little bit of patchiness in the lighting on the forehead, which I want to improve, and the upper part of the head is more strongly lit than the bottom part, so I want to balance that lighting out a little bit and possibly reduce the lighting on the body and shoulder area a bit. Okay, now I want to add my burn and dodge layers, and I've got an action for that which creates the burn and dodge layers for me automatically. You get those actions free with our Photoshop for Photographers course, so that you don't have to create them every time. You can just press the action and it will create the burn and dodge layers for you. And with the burning and dodging tools, I'm not using the actual burn and dodge tools, I'm just using a mechanism to light and shade, and I'm using curves adjustment layers for that. And then what happens is, by using a brush tool with a white brush on the mask at a very low flow rate of 1%, I can just gradually build up the amount of effect of one of those curves layers at a time. And just choosing areas that I want to make lighter or choosing areas that I want to make darker. So all of this is about shading. So I can see immediately the differences in tonal range here on the forehead. You can see these two darker patches and these sort of lighter highlights running around the forehead. So I'm just going to select a slightly larger brush, always working with a very soft brush, and then I'm going to start the burn and dodge process around these areas. You must also remember to zoom in and out when you're doing burning and dodging, because you need to view the images at what we call different spatial frequencies, at high frequency and low frequency, because it actually allows you to see different tonal range that you wouldn't have noticed if you were just zoomed in or if you were just zoomed out. So you must remember to zoom in and out on the process. So at the end of this video, at the very end, you'll find a link to our website if you want to look into our more advanced training on Photoshop. So here's where I am so far. There's my burn layer, there's my dodge layer.
combine the two. There's the burn and dodge together, and then there's also that little bit of colour correction that I put at the start. So you can see we've already made some good progress on this retouch. So I'm going to continue on. Okay, there's a couple of issues here in the eye. I zoom right in. Just some reflections in the eye and a few too many veins and things that I want to remove from the eye. So I'm going to clean that up now on a new layer. So just using a healing brush tool. You don't want to remove everything, otherwise you end up with a very fake looking billiard ball of an eye. Right, so that's a big improvement on that eye. Still some coloration work to fix though. Now how much work you do on a retouch and how far you go largely depends on the final purpose of the retouch and how big you expect the picture to be reproduced. So you can see here I'm applying curves adjustment layers in various well, the main colours, the red, green, blues channels, but the opposites of them. So the opposite of red is cyan, the opposite of blue is yellow, and the opposite of green is magenta. So I'm able to control the colours by pulling the curves adjustment layer in a particular direction, applying that as an adjustment layer, and then inverting the mask like that so it hides it. And then where I see an area that looks too blue, for example, I can then use that just very, very subtly just to introduce a little bit more yellow into those areas. So I'm sort of looking at the areas that where there are veins, for example, that are giving a little bit of a blue tinge on the skin. Now, you can see in this area of the forehead here, this is definitely noticeable, the colour corrections that I've applied in here. You see, look at these tones in here. And if we turn the colour corrections on, there you can see how that warms up those tones in there. One of the things we teach in our advanced Photoshop course is using visual aid layers and building those, and we actually include the actions and the scripts to create those, so that you can easily identify these variations in colour and retouch them using a visual aid layer, so that even if you're not that good at spotting them with the visual aid layer there, you can spot it very easily. Now if you go too far with anything, then you just switch back to black paint instead of white paint on your mask and paint back again. Right, now that I've made some of those colour corrections, I'm looking at this and thinking I need to do a little bit more burn and dodge work. Quite a big improvement already on there. Let's do that again, turn that on and off from the original. There's the original, and there's the retouched. There's the original, and there's where we are with the retouching so far. It's always worthwhile taking a break from these things and going and making a cup of tea and coming back to it with fresh eyes. One of the key things with retouching is that you don't want to destroy the aesthetics of the original photograph. You're not trying to make a bad photograph good. You're just trying to enhance slightly a good photograph. Drawing attention to the face there more, and brought the bottom part of the face up a little bit more. Now, if I've done too much, I can also just reduce the opacity of the layer and bring it down a bit. Then, still want to add a little bit more shadow now, around the edges of the face, just to give a bit more sort of contouring. So, a little bit of work I'd like to do on those lips, just on the burn and dodge, on the catch lights on those lips. Take that lot, put it in a folder, and I can turn it all off, on and off at the same time. There we go. So I think we'll agree that that is a substantial improvement. I want to bend that nose shape a little bit. So you can see how I've changed the shape of the feel of that arm by making it feel more curved, more curvature to it. Right, what's left to do? I'm going to try a Liquefy on that nose. There we go. Let's turn that on and off. There's the difference. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to send it to Oz for his opinions. If we can compare this to the before, there's the before shot, there's the after on the retouching, and then there's a little bit of lift on the shot. So before, after retouching, and an added bit of lift with the curves adjustment. I'm thinking about doing a full photo shoot, product shoot in a forthcoming vlog video. If you'd like to see that happen, then please like this video and comment below.
Learn photography with me, Carl Taylor, at carltaylorphotography.com, with instant access, online streaming and HD downloads. Everything you need to know from beginner to pro.
Hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to see more advanced retouching, far more in depth, check out the Photoshop for Photographers course or the Advanced Photoshop for Photographers course on my website.